With various guests around Wigan is a true oracle of boxing, Mr. Steve Lewis. This next contest is for 3-minute rounds of boxing in the cruiserweight division. Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the white, black and gold called shorts. At the weighing scale, 14 stone, 7 ounces. Tonight is his fourth professional contest, hailing from Bradford. Here is Ryan, the Problem Labourn. And opposing him, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black, white and silver colored shorts. At the weighing scale, 14 stone, 5 pounds, 3 ounces. He has a perfect, unblemished record, 3 contests, 3 wins. Presented from Labourn, Wales, McKay. Time to go to the bell, get ready for Burnley. And warm welcome to new referee, Jamie Kirkpatrick, for 3-minute rounds. Second up,
here we go, our next fight. Mike McKay of Liverpool versus Ryan Labourn. 4 3-minute rounds in the cruiserweight division. McKay back for the first time in 3.5 years. Once a very good amateur. I think he may have reached an ABA senior elite final 24, 15, 16 around that time.
Fantastic, and he's obviously got a perfect record as a pro as well.
Ryan Labourn lost all 3 fights so far on points. His manager Dave Allen, who's in the corner for him, the well-known heavyweight, tells me that he could easily win a Central Area title, but he's another one who's just convinced him, or he's happy as being on the road, going around earning his purse every week.
I mean, if you're a journeyman, well, you know, an away fight worth your salt, it can be a very lucrative job, you know. Well, you can keep yourself out of danger on a weekly basis. Started off quite busy, Labourn, but with the like you normally get with Southpaw versus Orthodox, there's been a bit of a tripping of the feet and a bit of awkwardness, really.
Feet just come together there, left foot of quite. Another example of that there, Labourn fell backwards there. A lot of that was because the left boot of McKay on his right foot.
Yeah, absolutely, but he managed to catch him with a glancing counter right hook, which, you know, an excellent shot for a southpaw, especially if the Orthodox is there with his lower guard again.
Talk about cruiserweights before the show with referee Mark Lyson, who's working here this evening. He was saying the size of these cruiserweights now. You know, if you look at McKay, you know, you think when they were 13'8", McKay looks like one of those guys who comes down from about 15.5 stone to full.
I was just thinking, Steve, how imposing he looks. You know, he's definitely got the height advantage over Labourn, but you know, these cruiserweights these days. I mean, it shows with Laurence Cole. You know, the one at the very top of his game, that the weight he's dropping to drop back down to cruiser, but they are massive. But you look at the heavyweights. I know Tyson Fury is an example in himself, but monsters these days.
Seconds up, round 2.
Right, did you give Mike McKay the first round?
Absolutely, you know, it was a good start by Labourn, but you know, Mike did well and kind of exerted his dominance towards the end of the round. As I said, he's quite an imposing figure in there. It'd be good to sit behind that jab and just kind of put the work in this round without a doubt.
I mean, it wasn't long ago when the cruiserweights was 13 stone 8. They looked like big light heavyweights. Now they just look like small heavyweights, don't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. You mentioned Mike McKay, then he is. Fantastic right hand there. You mentioned before about being a previous ABA champion. He's kind of, as he grows into this fight, he's letting that class show the difference in class between them, really.
I think he's had a long time out, 3.5 years. He's just got to be busy now, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting the rounds back under your belt. You know, if you've had that, you know, that elongated period out, it tends to be easy for the higher weighted fighters, but it's time out to time out. White Rhino there firing the instructions out to Ryan Labourn as McKay tends to take a real strong hold on this fight now.
Dave Allen, the White Rhino, been one of the real characters of British heavyweight boxing the last decade, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely, and it's great to have him. You know, I've seen him on a couple of shows I've been on with Reese and with my super featherweight, and it's great to see. You know, he's a great guy to have about.
They're also very busy with his amateurs as well.
Absolutely, yeah. If you follow him on social media, you'll see, you know, he's doing great work with a lot of fighters.
Do you work with amateur boxers as well, or are you just solely a professional trainer?
I'm on
now?
the professional side. You know, I work closely with, as I mentioned, Shinny earlier, Shinny Bayar, ex-British champion.
Yeah.
So Shinny is in control of the amateurs, and there's some really exciting prospects that we hope over the next couple of years. Reese himself was a Northwest Junior champion, so other products of this Shinny.
Seconds out, round 3.
We're coming to this third round here. McKay trying to reassert his dominance again, really there. The ball looks like he's come out of being a little bit more business in this round, but McKay definitely controlling the pace at the moment.
McKay, the sort of fellows would be tricky to fight for a lot of people, I think.
Absolutely strong, rangy, you know, busy, you know, he's got that amateur pedigree.
Trains out of the Rydal gym under Rob Butler.
He's again reasserting his dominance. There's a lot of fighters, you know, who struggle to make that conversion from the amateurs to the pros, because, you know, they're very different sports, but, you know, McKay seems to be, I know he's had a long break out, but he seems to be enjoying relishing his evening tonight.
Yeah, not too much ring rust either, is there?
No, absolutely not. A lot less than you'd expect. It's different, obviously, getting the sparring rounds into being out in front, under the lights, but, you know, you wouldn't know the difference. You know, you wouldn't think he's had this time away. McKay there, really controlling the range really well. You know, like you mentioned before, Steve, about the lack of ring rust, and you know, as the rounds go on, he's grown into the fight even more. Kind of caught a glimpse of his eyes, and he's looking, looks like he means business without a shadow of a doubt.
Work it out there, boys. Don't hold. Work it out.
Ryan Labourn playing the role of the journeyman, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. You know, there's a couple of different types of journeymen. You know, the ones that come to fight, and the ones that, you know, that are coming to make life difficult. And I think he's falling into the second one, really.
Yeah. Final 10 seconds of the round.
Seconds out, the fourth and final round.
Fourth and final round of Mike McKay's first fight back after 3.5 years out of action, and a very pleasing first 3 rounds from him. I'm sure his cornerman, his trainer Rob Butler, and the Rydal gym team will be very happy with what they've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on going forward. It's good to have people like that back in the ring.
Prop head Mike McKay, very focused here. Not for 1 second has he lost any lapse in concentration in the fight so far.
No, and you won't be able to fault him if he did. You know, like you said, that time, we keep referring back to it, but that time out of the ring can be detrimental, but it doesn't seem to have affected him in the slightest. There's a couple of cases in this fight where McKay's looked to have rocked Labourn a bit, and you know, you can see the controlled performance, you know, especially the time out of the ring. You would have thought other people, they're not as disciplined, might have tried to go in for the kill, but might have done very well, sat behind the jab and gone to work again, which is great to see.
The Bull's doing everything we didn't see for much of another journeyman, Jake Smith's fight earlier on. You know, he's not staying on the ropes, he's coming off them all the time.
He's definitely making Mike work for the rounds, but Mike's showing his ability and showing his experience, showing his class. He's not getting overawed, because Labourn's trying to spoil really here now.
Good house now here in Robin Park Arena. The bleachers just in front of us look pretty full, and the ringside seats to our left and right.
Yeah, definitely, it's filling up. It's Reese's last time out was he was floater on the Channel 5 Wasserman show, and being a float with Jake James at the end, and I think it was Anthony Croller ended up. A good friend of mine ended up letting me in the ropes at the end. You know, it was an empty arena, so it's great to have the amount of people in here now.
All smiles at the end of the 4 rounds. McKay, a convincing winner, but looks to have won all 4 rounds comfortably.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 hard-fought rounds of cruiserweight action, referee Jimmy Patrick has scored the contest 40 points to 36 points for your winner. Now undefeated in 4 professional contests, McKay. In your appreciation, please, the very gallant young man from Labourn, Labourn.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.